Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Sophie. I'm part of the DMS program, and I'm here joined with my hosts, Claudia.
Hi.
And Nina.
Hello.
Today, we're going to have our first episode of Between Classes, a very new podcast created by students for students. This podcast is designed to be a safe space for all students of the FH Philak Carrington.
Yeah, exactly. So we planned to do this podcast so we can all the students can feel heard and seen, and we would like to talk about our experiences, student experiences. Also, we want to create a dialogue about mental health tips. And of course, we are all from different countries, so this is going to be a mixture of everything, and it's going to be super exciting.
I mean, most of us are from different countries, right?
Yeah, I'm a local one, but all good.
Yeah.
I'm saying, but this is really going to be a place where we can all just kind of kick off our shoes, relax, let our hair down. It's not really like we're here to talk about everything going on in school all the time. It's going to be like you can talk about things going on in the world, things going on at home, whatever feels comfortable for you right now.
Yeah, exactly. We just want to be a safe space and a comfortable space. So it should be really fun too.
Yeah, and probably also spill some tea maybe.
Ooh.
And since you guys don't really know us yet because it's the first episode, we are going to actually do a little bit of an interview with our host, Nina. Nina, the local.
Nina, the local.
Nina.
Our local expert of Philak.
Yeah, so I think maybe just let's start about how you moved here to Austria, how it felt, maybe some, I don't know, cultural shocks. Maybe you had some stereotypes like Austrians running around in lederhosen.
You want to start?
Well, for me, it was, I think it was not as difficult as someone would think about, at least for me. So I didn't have a stereotype about Austrians. I did thought everybody was taller than me. And I was not expecting, honestly, the beauty of the nature.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful.
It's really, really pretty. I love to swim, so going to the lake in summer is wonderful. Cultural shock I had is funny-wise because I come from Cuba. So in Cuba, it's a Latin American country, and every street is dirty.
Yeah.
Everything. And when I came here, everything was so clean, like so clean, and it smelled nice.
It really is like pristine, like storybook-esque.
It's really something surprising for me. Also, I think a little bit more of a bad cultural shock. It's not bad, but different more in the bad sense. Is that we tend to be more close, more open. We tend to do friends extremely fast. But here it takes a lot of time to make friends. A lot of time, a lot of effort, and everybody on the street is just looking down. I mean, not down, but just looking to the front.
Down at you.
Yeah, no, they're not looking. I didn't say that. But they do.
They're more like reserved a bit.
Exactly.
Not as open as...
Exactly. In the store in Cuba, you go in and it's like, oh, hello, my love. How are you today? What can I help you with? And here in the store, it's just, yeah, here you go. And that's it. and that's not a bad thing. It's just a cultural shock because it's different. Yeah. It's practically my vision of it and how it felt.
So you think it feels very like polar opposite night and day? Or is it like there's some big differences here, but there's also common ground here?
I think common ground in the sense that once you open, once you do a friend, an Austrian friend, it is practically as if you have any other like Latin American friend. Because once they open, it's wonderful. It's as similar as you could have a relationship with a friend relationship with any Latin American. So I think it's not a bad thing. It's just a difference, and we learn how to deal with that at some point. And yeah, it's just different and nice, and I don't know what did you think, Sophie? I'm interested to know.
Mm-hmm. So I come from the United States, as you can tell by my accent. But so I came from Chicago, which is a big city, but it's a very different world here. It's, you know, the U.S. is like, it's very capitalistic, obviously. You know, you have to have all your things around. You can go to many different stores 24 hours a day. There's also just a bunch of different types of people you'll meet, because even though the U.S. is one country, it feels like 50 different countries under one cloak. But being here, it's like everyone has been fairly nice. It's obviously there's some language issues every now and then, because people will say we're very international, but also it's like if you don't speak German, it's difficult sometimes.
That's really difficult though. If you don't know the language, you can still have interaction with people. But it happened to me once that I went to the doctor, and the doctor just asked me like how long I was already living here. Yeah. And I was like, oh, a year and a half. And he was like, and you still don't speak German? And I was like, well, I didn't know what to say to that, obviously. But and then he said like, and what are you doing here? And I was like, I'm studying. And he was like, and what? And it just came out that I was studying in English. And I was like, that's too bad, because then you don't learn the German. And I was like, oh my god.
That reminds me of a cafe I go to. I go there almost every week. And every time I go there, he tries to increase the level of German he speaks to me when talking. Because he's like, every time you say you're going to classes, you're studying, you need to know and practice. So he throws more vocabulary every time I go.
Okay. I mean, that's good. That's
At
nice.
least that helps you. But but the doctor was just like a little bit of a judgment. And I was like...
The funny thing is that sometimes I have the feeling that Austrians... You know, they believe that you have to, if you say you learn German, that you have to understand our dialect.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, because my mom, she's from Russia, and she came here to Austria like 30 years ago, and she had a basic knowledge of German language, of Hochdeutsch.
Yeah.
And she came here and she was literally like, she was completely lost because she couldn't understand what people were telling to her, because it's so different.
I know, like I'm studying High German. We're studying High German. And I tell people, you know, oh, I'm studying this. But then they're like, oh, but good luck with the dialect. You know, it's so different. And it is.
To understand, Austrian dialect is a different level. It's like, sometimes you think you understand, but then they say something else and you're like, oh, wait, I thought you were talking about something else. But at least some people is really nice and understand that it is not the same. And they try to speak to you in a more understandable German if they cannot speak English. If not, they speak English with you.
But I need to practice my German a bit more. I know like my level is still not amazing. I have to like still kind of slowly respond and listen. Every time someone throws something at me, I'm like, okay, ich komme aus. No, ich komme aus.
So. It is really, it is difficult, and sometimes people don't understand that, because even people from my home country, they go like, and how is German going? And I'm like, oh, well, it is
going somewhere.
It's going.
Because unfortunately, you cannot be fluent in a language in just 1 year. Even though if you have the basic, in 1 year, it's really difficult to be fluent. It's nearly impossible in a year to be fluent. It's really hard.
Saying I'm frustrated because before I moved here, I was living in Spain, and I have some level of Spanish better than German, and it's like being there for a year, I was trying to practice, but I'm obviously not fluent still, and I'm like, I have all this time prepping for Spanish that I'm now almost responding every time in German here in Spanish. So someone the other day is like saying to me, and I'm always just like, bada bada bada. No, that's not how you say it.
Yeah, it is quite difficult. Yeah, but it is part of moving to another country, you know. When someone migrates from one country to the other, we have to at some point understand the other culture and get like involved in this culture too. Definitely. And it takes time. It is difficult, but I think it is possible. Of course, it's not going to be possible maybe in 3 years, but maybe at the 5th year we already understand better, and we can have more of a difficult conversation in German and things like that.
And pretty soon we could wear our own lederhosen.
Yes, and we will make a podcast episode where we'll talk in German. Everyone has lederhosen and Dirndl.
Can you imagine? It's gonna be that will be funny with our German basic, and then speaking like genau. And that's it.
Das Sandwich ist sehr lecker. So good.
Genau. Passt schon.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And what about some, I don't know, traditional experiences? Have you been to the Christmas market? Have you seen some Krampusläufe?
Okay.
What do you think about?
Two thoughts. So first off, Christmas markets, beautiful.
Yeah.
They were so nice. I loved going to the one in Klagenfurt. I got some really good Schwetzgen wine, the one with the plums and the wine.
Schwetzgen,
Sweet,
yeah.
Is it like sweet wine, right?
Yeah.
So it's like it's a cooked wine and there's some plums in it. So like this whole like cooked plums, and it's super good. It's very spiced and comforting. I had a really nice time there. It was really good. Although you smell some smelly cheese sometimes.
Yeah.
They have a cheese stand.
But Krampuslauf, oh my God. I was terrified.
You went?
Yeah.
Oh
I was in the city. I wasn't trying to go, but I was in the city going for some errands. And then all of a sudden it's starting, and all these people dressed up in their masks and their costumes and the bells and the chains, they're walking up behind us. And I'm like, I have to go. I have to get to the station.
No, I didn't went to the Christmas markets, but I haven't been properly in a Krampuslauf. So, but I did go to it was a kids thing, Taekwondo kids, and it was because it was close to Christmas. They brought Krampuses and San Nicolas
to the kids,
to the kids in Taekwondo.
So, do they take the branches with them as well?
Yeah. It was a whole Krampuslauf, but smaller, of course. And some kids were terrified, and they asked, of course, the kids who are scared, please go to this room with this person, and then and of course they didn't see them. But it was, for me, I was there like, oh my God. But they were nice. They were nice. Well, kind of nice. The nicest they could be, exactly. And then it was like that. So it was so funny for me because San Nicolas then had sneakers. And he was just dressed as San Nicolas and then sneakers. And
he was a fresh one.
Krampus in his Nikes.
Exactly. It was, for me, it was super funny. So it was, in my case, it was a nice experience there, Krampuslauf, because it was not a proper Krampuslauf. But I will be scared. I've seen videos, and I was like, yeah, definitely, this is something I don't have to go. I'm fine just watching it in videos. Go into the Christmas market and ice skating. I love ice skating so much. I love it so much. And when the lakes get frozen, it's so beautiful. Cool. It's beautiful, beautiful. And thank God they froze before I went to Cuba. Because if I couldn't ice skate in a lake, I was going to be super sad. But yeah. So talking about nature, what do you as an Austrian like to do, for example? Because we know that Austrians love nature.
Yeah, so for me, especially in summer, I really like to go hiking, but also our beautiful lakes everywhere, to go for a swim.
I love that so much.
That's really great. Yeah, I used to live for 2 years in Salzburg, and I really started to miss the lakes and the mountains. Because, I mean, they do have a few, but they're tiny, not as big as our ones. Yeah, so that's pretty the most nicest experience. And also, of course, going skiing in winter.
Yeah.
I haven't done that.
I haven't been skiing yet. I'm a little afraid because I know that kids are going skiing, and, you have everyone doing it from, the day they're born. They're on the skis. But to me, I'm always like, I'm afraid I'm gonna fall. I'm afraid I'm gonna get run over by another skier.
Yeah, that's my fear too, and especially because I've never done that. Never in my life have I skied, or never in my life I've gone to a mountain to just slide like in these big mountains. Never. I tried though skiing in a really small. It was in close to my house. It was a park, and this park when it snows and it has a hill. And my husband was like, "Oh, you can try." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And it was fine because nobody else was skiing beside me. And she teach me how to do it, and it was like with more patience, and I was not afraid that if I fall, I roll down 10 meters down or something.
See, that would be my luck.
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
So it was fun in that sense, but I haven't properly skied.
So we still have to do that
one
day as well.
One day.
I like the idea of going to the ski lodge and having a nice sweater and having some hot cocoa and some
taking
stew,
pictures.
taking pictures, looking all affluent and nice. But
Well, aesthetic.
exactly, I like the
Aesthetic
aesthetic behind skiing. The actual concept, kind of trash. But
or maybe you're just down for the après-ski, party.
yes, exactly.
Oh, okay. No. I think if I go, I would like to ski. If I go, but I don't know. I'm still a little bit afraid.
I mean, there are always like beginner slopes, so you can
they say
go easy. And also, I know if you fall on snow, it's not
as bad. Yeah,
bad.
it's true. But someone told me that the best thing to do is to also like hire, not hire, but there's a teaching
like a
thing
ski
that
school.
someone teaches you, because they say that's the easiest way to learn, and also not to be scared because everybody else is also doing it with you. So they say that's the best way. So maybe one day what we do is that someone serves us as a ski teacher.
Yeah, that's how I learned to ski in the Easter holidays. My mom, my dad, I don't remember, they sent me into a kids ski group, and it's like every day you're on the slopes and you're learning, and in the end you have a small race, and I won a medal.
Impressive.
Yeah, the thing where I've lived, we've never had those kind of like experiences. It's always been just like going for a walk, going for like a hike, which is like going around, a hill. But
at least you had that.
Yeah.
In Cuba, we just have 36 degrees, 37 degrees every day of the year. So the only thing we do, and we don't do it as often as we like because it's still kind of difficult to transport. It's to go to the beach.
Yeah.
And to swim, just maybe burn yourself with the sun. Things that happen.
That's the other thing I need to get used to is the Celsius. Here, I can't get used to Celsius yet.
Really?
I always have to say everything in Fahrenheit. I'm
Well, no, I'm used to Celsius too, at least. So I imagine that also is a cultural shock by itself.
Yeah.
Because when I see or hear Fahrenheit or miles, because we do use pounds sometimes in Cuba, but we do not use miles or Fahrenheit. So sometimes when because we have you guys here and from the United States, and when you say you guys, oh my god, when you say Fahrenheit or miles or something like that, sometimes I'm like, and what does that translate to?
We're just we're the weirdos of the world, but we embrace it.
Yeah, you're proud of it, so it's a nice thing.
I'm here with my family, and we're embracing it together. That we're figuring things out every day.
Exactly. So I think there's a lot of other people too who are figuring things out here.
Yes,
in Austria.
We did put out a little questionnaire for the people of FH. And we're going to read some of their stories.
Read some of the stories that some of the highlights they have from coming here to Austria as a foreigner. So, yeah. Moving from Sri Lanka to Austria has been a significant change in many ways. One of the first things I noticed was how convenient and reliable public transport is compared to Sri Lanka. Buses and trains run on schedule with minimal delays, making daily commuting much easier. The use of cutting-edge technologies such as digital ticketing, real-time tracking, and well-integrated networks enhances the overall efficiency, something that is still developing in Sri Lanka. However, adjusting to the colder climate has been challenging, and the cultural approach to daily life is quite different. Austrians tend to be more reserved in public, whereas Sri Lanka are naturally warm and expressive. Another major difference is that most shops close early and on Sundays, which took some getting used to. Despite these differences, I've noticed unexpected similarities between the two countries. Both have a deep appreciation for nature, Sri Lanka with their beaches and forests, and Austrians with its mountains and lakes. Growing up in a Roman Catholic household, I was also surprised to see familiar sights such as rosaries hanging from review mirrors and wayside shrines along roads, especially in rural areas, just like in Sri Lanka. Both cultures also value hospitality, and despite the initial cultural barriers, I've found Austrians to be kind and welcome once you get to know them. Adjusting to life here has been a learning experience, but it has also been an exciting opportunity to explore a new way of living.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I think he kind of said something similar to you, people being a little more, colder, and a little less warm when you first approach them, and also in general.
I think he said a lot of things that we already said here. But something that we didn't mention, and it's really true, it's the public transport. Because it's public transport here, at least for me, it is also super, super easy, super easy to get to the places that you need to go. And there's a bus to everywhere, a train that can take you everywhere. And it's true that sometimes they're a little bit delayed or things like that. But it is at the long view, long view, it is not bad. It is normal, and it is perfectly fine. You can still get to places, and a lot of places, honestly, with public transport.
For me,
go ahead, please.
Thank you. So for me, the most funny thing is that people notice that the shops close super early, and on Sunday everything is closed. You can just get something at the gas station if you really need some urgent things, but
saying there is definitely a feeling of stranded on those days, because the other day I live in Krampendorf, which is in between Villach and Klagenfurt, and on a Sunday it's like, oh, I need to go to a pharmacy, I need to get some band-aids because I cut myself, and it's like, well, I cannot I can't go. So it does feel a little strange with that, I would say. I mean,
one thing, the positive thing in the touristic high seasons in summer but also in winter, we do have a few grocery stores that are actually open on Sundays, so that's a safety at least.
But on my side, I really like that that Austria has this quiet Sunday. I enjoy that, because I'm like, if I need to go to the store, I go on Saturday. If it is something urgent, then I go to the gas station or something like that. But I really like that there is a day of rest, I don't know, especially because also I'm Christian, so also Sundays when it's like more quiet, it is also what I try to do. I try to rest also on Sundays. So for me, it is a really nice thing. I mean, the buses keep working, the trains keep working, not at the same times, but they still keep working. So you can still go to places, and you can still go to see nature, and still go and do something with your family or with your friends. So from my point of view, it is actually not something so bad. It is a cultural shock, though.
Saying it is nice. It has a bit more emphasis on your personal self, your own time, your own relaxation, as opposed to, for example, in the US, it's like go, go, go all the time. Everything has to be open. Everything has to be fast, efficient. So yes, it feels strange to have a day closed when you're like, I can't get to any shop or anything, but it is more of a nice change where it's like, not so focused on, profit. It's so focused on like, okay, have your leisure time, have this time off, have your time to yourself.
Exactly. So for me, that's a really cool thing. It is a work to get used to, though. I need to get something. Oh, right, it's Sunday, I can't.
Yeah.
So you have to wait until next day. So it is not so bad. So do we have another story maybe that we want to share?
So I have one as well. Austria is actually fairly similar to Hungary, but some things I noticed were how early kids start to ski. Obviously because of the amazing mountains and slopes. I had students at the ski school starting at age of 2, so they're skiing and hiking and bouldering, and that's definitely huge in Austria. Then also she loves how well the honor system works and also how much emphasis Austrians put on recycling. I don't know if you have noticed that, but it's also...
It is true. In Cuba, we don't do that. We can't. We don't have the resources to do that.
Also, she feels that Austrians are very patient and helpful, and they also always try to give help and advices when you try to talk in German. And it makes you also more comfortable when someone is very patient with you. And that's a really funny thing, because I didn't really know that people could found this out, but she just found out that Austrian houses being so tüchtig and fitting in the scene so well is no coincidence. So if someone wants to build a new house, the mayor would inspect the plans and decide whether it fits into the scenery of the other houses or not.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my God.
We have that in the U.S. as well. It's the HOA, though. It's like this committee for every neighborhood, and you have to agree in terms of how your house can look, what you can hang out in your yard. It has to fit a certain criteria, or otherwise they can like tell you to take it down, or to get the authorities involved.
Yeah, so the color, how you want to paint your house, or also the height of the fences and everything, you mostly need a confirmation.
Okay, that's interesting and good to know, I guess.
Yeah.
That's why they all kind of mash to each other.
I don't know, when you first read kids starting at a young age, you know, like all this, when you've said bouldering, my first thought went to rock climbing for some reason. And I was imagining this 2-year-old on the rock climbing wall. And I'm like, Austrians are built different, I guess.
No, but it is. I mean, I've gone to also to the climbing gym, you say?
Yeah.
And I've seen really small kids. Small kids.
They're like monkeys on the
walls.
They're like
really. And it's... for me, it is still a shock that with 2 years old, maybe they cannot even speak properly, and they are skiing.
Yeah, but it looks so cute. They have some tiny skis.
Of course it looks cute. But my thought is it really healthy though? That's my question. Probably, maybe it doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
But my question is like, is it healthy with just 2 years old be like...
It's going to improve their balance and coordination.
That's true.
And I also do believe that they're not from in the morning until the sun goes
I
down,
like
all
it's
the
not
slopes.
like that. I want to believe that too. Yeah.
One more time, Josef, go up there.
You have to be here until 5 p.m. You cannot stop now. No, I believe that they don't teach them like that, obviously. I mean, I've heard stories in Latin America that when they want to teach a kid how to swim, they just throw him. Like with 2 years old, they just throw him in the pool or in the beach or whatever. And I'm just like...
That's how my dad was taught, thrown in the pool.
Oh my God. And I'm like, that is so bad. That is a trauma for kids. I believe. I really believe that's a trauma, honestly.
And then I think we have one more story left. I'm going to go ahead and read that one. Okay, so, hey there. I'm originally from Tehran, the capital of Iran, an incredibly busy and vibrant city that's basically the opposite of the relaxed atmosphere here in Villach. I arrived in September 2024 to study intercultural management, and so far it's been an amazing experience. The first thing that really captivated me was the nature, the fresh mountain air, luscious greenery. Everything is so clean and calm. It's a big contrast to the hustle and bustle of Tehran. Another thing that stood out to me is how passionate people are about staying active. It feels like everyone from students to older folks is out cycling, running, or backpacking into mountains on the weekends. When it comes to everyday life, food has been one of the biggest adjustments for me. Persians view preparing meals as almost sacred. We put so much love, time, and care into cooking. Here I've noticed people generally eat simpler and faster, maybe grabbing something quick before getting on with their day. It's quite different from the broad variety of dishes I'm used to back home. I really miss Persian cuisine. Another little thing that's different is how greetings work here. Back in Iran, people often shake hands when greeting, and meeting or hugging is common among closer friends and acquaintances. Here in Austria, I've noticed people don't always do that as frequently, though it might vary by context or even within university.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it with the hugging and kissing, it happened the same to me. In Cuba, we are always, when I meet you, for example, I'm kissing you. I mean, not lips to shake, but
pucker up.
But kissing in the sense of just mwah, like that.
Yeah.
And it's super common. You do it with everybody, everybody. I mean, even I remember that when I was a kid, it was sometimes unpolite if you as a kid didn't go and say hi with a kiss to your second aunt or second cousin or something like that. So that's something I totally agree. You don't do that here. Some people do hug, do go like, oh, hi. But that's the closest you are gonna get from a hello. That's the closest. And I think that's an interesting thing also with the food. That's a really interesting remark, like that they put so much effort in food, and then here everything is a little bit more fast. What happened to me was with food was that I think we cook with more spices and with more, we put onion, garlic, paprika and all of that to everything. And here it's more like, oh yeah, I put pepper and salt. And sometimes I'm like, and I don't know, some other herbs, maybe some garlic.
I mean, it depends.
It depends
on the dish.
On the family and also.
And
the
of course, always if you have the chance to eat food from an Austrian grandma, you should do that, because this is really something not from this world. But what's very interesting, I didn't really notice that people try to grab food very quickly here. I think it's maybe also kind of in a situation in the working world. Of course, the people, I don't know, have half an hour of break and they go and grab some sandwich. But normally in a household, there's always some warm food.
Yeah, it could also be an age factor as well, because
Probably,
I'm living in a student dorm and there's people from all different countries in this dorm. And people are either like eating a quick sandwich or something, or they're just heating up something frozen. It's nothing like super extreme. And they always joke that like I live with my sister and her husband, and like we're always cooking this meal, and they're like, "Oh, you guys are chefs, professional." And it's like, no, we're just making pasta.
Yeah.
But I think he also refers to, maybe, I don't know, he refers to that here in Austria it's really common to have bread with something. And that for his culture or her culture is something quick.
Yeah.
And that's why maybe he refers to that doing just a bread with something.
Yeah, kind of a sandwich.
Such a sandwich. Boom, that is a quick meal, honestly. You don't take much time preparing that. So maybe he also refers to that.
Maybe.
The fastness is that, oh yeah, I just take a bread, I just take, I don't know, some muesli, some cereals with some yogurt, and that's my meal, or that's my breakfast. Just maybe he refers to that quickness of things, that is just put one thing with the other and that's ready.
Saying, I'll go back to what you said about the spices as well. So that's something that I do miss here for sure, is I love spicy food, both like spiced and spicy, and you don't get a lot of that. I feel like, at least from what I've had, it's been like, the food's good, but it's very simple food. And I usually prefer having more things aromatic, more like things that are like hitting all the taste buds.
I personally love lemon with everything.
Love it.
And where I live, they go like, yeah, Claudia puts lemon to everything. And I'm like, well, you can make sweets with lemon. You can make soup with lemon, everything. And I think it's super nice.
Lemon is the best fruit, change your mind.
Definitely. And kind of make fun of me in that sense because I've always wanted to put lemon to something. Yeah.
For me, it's the sour cream. All my friends make fun of me because in Russia we eat a lot of sour cream and we put it literally to everything. And sometimes when we're eating at home and I put out my sour cream, and everyone goes, "Oh my God, Nina, you can't combine this."
Not again.
Of course I can. It's sour cream.
So I've become at my apartment. I found this bottle of sriracha, and I am putting sriracha on everything now. I'm like, I want some spice on the food.
I personally don't like spicy hot.
Really?
Caribbean food does not have spicy food. We have spicy in the sense of aromatic with onion, with garlic, with lemon. In that sense, with spices, but not hot. Not that it burns. No.
I also don't like when you eat and it just hurts and you can't taste anything anymore.
I need to bring you guys to the US and you guys have to try like Nashville hot chicken or the one chip challenge. I'm sure.
Oh God.
Just perish on the spot.
Oh yeah. Okay, so I think we can wrap up now.
And I think that we wanted to say that, like, obviously it's difficult coming to a new country, and especially if the culture is very different from where you're coming from. But just know that, like, for me, it's very different, but I'm so lucky that I'm here with my family. It's, I get this experience. I get to do it with them and be able to talk about what's different and how I miss things back home or something. But there's people coming here that are alone and not having to figure things out on their own. But just, know that you're not alone in this experience. Most people coming here are having the same experience as you.
Yeah. So what we're trying also to say is that we are all in this together practically, because you, Sophia, are so lucky to come with your family, but I am practically alone without any family or any close friend that I had before. And it's been a roller coaster, honestly, especially after going there for vacation to Cuba and then coming back again. This time has been way more harder than the first time I came. So we just wanted to say that you can always talk with someone, always, even if it is with us and you see us in the hallways and go like, oh yeah, I saw the podcast and I wanted also to talk about my experience. And we also encourage you to talk about your experience or some feedback that you have in the comments below, please.
We'll look in the camera so you can recognize our faces when you see us in the hallway.
Yeah. So feel free to comment, and we will love to hear from you, from your feedback, from your experiences. And we hope that this resonated with you. So we also would like to encourage you to follow us in our social media. We will put it somewhere in the screen or somewhere in the description. So you can follow us on Instagram. We have the YouTube channel, and we also the Spotify channel. Yeah. Yay! So we're gonna be mostly everywhere. So yeah, thank you so much for viewing us, listen to us, and we hope you'll have a nice day and see you soon.
Saying our next podcast should be maybe next month,
maybe
and
we'll
have some announcement on Instagram.
Yeah, so we will post it there. So keep yourself posted, because we will keep you posted.
Right. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you for
listening with us and sitting with us, and have a nice day.
Have a nice day. Bye.